Hey y'all. Oh wow. What? Only 2 jellyfish? I didn't get anything for 3 pufferfish? Where'd all my money go? Okay, I got a wow. That's good enough. Hey y'all. Welcome to my channel. We have a live stream. Oh, there's a couple of people here. Sorry it took a little while getting ready. I forgot how to sign into this thing. It's been a while. The last DuckDeals seminar I had to, it was Veterans Day. But now it's not Veterans Day. It's a normal day. So yeah, every other Monday, I like to do a DuckDeals seminar for free to you good people. It's a hello to those who are watching now, and hello to those who will watch the archive version later. Of course, if you're here now, I can see you and say hi and answer any questions, so that's always better that way. Feel free to put any message you have in the chat thing, and let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about Japan, the Japan. In Spanish we call it Japón. I think in Japanese it's called Nippon, but not by me. Look, I got this really nice like tapestry thing. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, oh. And it's windy outside. It reminds me of the Japanese countryside. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about my experience in the Japan. I just came back this weekend, and I had a blast. And it was a lot different than I thought it would be, but also it was exactly what I thought it would be. Because I had my expectations set for the trip. So I guess the reason I want to talk to you about it is because it involves a little bit of strategy, a little bit of organization, and some efficiencies that I think will help you if you're thinking about going to Japan. I would recommend it at least once. It's a completely different place. It's the first it's kind of like the US in that it's like a first world country. but at the same time, it's so different. It's like another planet almost. Or maybe not another planet, but maybe just like a different time warp. I can't even, I don't even know how to explain it. But it was very different. And that's what makes travel so exciting. Here in Texas, everything's kind of the same for me. But going over there to Japan was super cool and an experience I'll never forget. So let's dive right into it. So if you want to go to Japan, just book a flight and go. It really is that simple. You only need a passport. I mean, you don't need a visa. When I went to China, I needed a visa. But Japan, just go right on in. You can't stay for too long, so just do like a small visit. I think it's like 90 days or something like that you have to be there. So, just book a flight. I had found a good deal for like 150,000 American Airlines miles. And so I just took it. And because I'm an American Airlines, and well, I get those points with my City American Airlines Executive MasterCard, which is a really good card. So I had a whole bunch of points, and I just booked the flight. Now I've been holding on to these points for almost a year. I mean, it was hard to get them all in place. So I don't want to make it sound like it's super simplistic. It took a long time. But, come November, I was ready and I had the points needed. So I just booked the flight. Now, I didn't book any like first class or anything this time because that would have been way too much. I've been like 300 or 400,000. I can't remember. So I wasn't going to pay for that. But it was also one of the longest flights I'd ever been on, from DFW to NRT, which is the code for Narita Airport. It was like 14 hours long. I've never been on a flight that long before. It's weird how the hours kind of go by and you just kind of get used to it and you just watch another movie and take a nap or whatever. So I took that flight, but because I have status with American Airlines, I knew I was at least Platinum Pro. I'm a Platinum Pro. So they gave me the chance to pick my seat on the flight, not first class or anything, but anything else. So I chose the exit row. It was super long, had this long space in front of me, so I could stretch out. That was very comfortable. I highly recommend that. So in a way, it kind of felt like first class because I just had so much space to relax in. I mean, it was so much space. And the restrooms were nearby too, which I like because I was going up and down the restrooms all day. And by all day, I mean all day because it was 14 hours on that plane. But, and also if you're flying first class, I recommend going into the Admirals Club. I mean, if you're flying international, you don't even have to be flying first class. So if you're flying international and you're an Admirals Club and you have an Admirals Club card like that MasterCard I was telling you about, let me get it. You're eligible for the flagship Admirals Club, which is, the best kind of Admirals Club there is. So when I was at DFW, I stopped into the flagship. I made a video and posted it on YouTube. But yeah, it was great being in there. So yeah, I recommend this card, the City Advantage Executive MasterCard for going to Japan. So I went to Japan and with that card, I brought all my credit cards as I always do, and I caught that flight. I went to the Admirals Club and relaxed before I went over there, and had some non-alcoholic beer and lots of food, so I was all ready to go. And then the flight took off, and suddenly I was in the Japan, and it was interesting to be there. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. I didn't bring much with me. I'm a very light traveler. I think I brought this shirt because it has like a anime Japanese kimono lady on it. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And like a few changes of clothes, and that's it. I mean, really, what else, would I need? My laptop, yeah, my phones, that sort of thing. So yeah, I went over there. I didn't bring any money, um, and I don't recommend that you do either. So as soon as my flight landed, I went to an ATM at the airport. It's not. It's a slightly worse fee if you're doing ATMs in the airport. So I only got a little money there. Later in Japan, I got more. But I know cash is big over there. But they're moving more towards credit cards every day. So I felt like it worked out pretty well for the most part. Whenever I needed to use a credit card, at a nice place or something like that. So anyway, I went there and I used my Charles Schwab debit card. I highly recommend this one because there's no fee, like bank fee. Like if they charge you one, then it gets reimbursed to you. So instead of bringing money and then like changing it when you get there, just pull it out of the ATM. So I pushed the button that I wanted 10,000 yens, and that comes out to like $66 US dollars. So that's how I kind of thought of it. And currently the dollar is very strong, so a good play would be to go over there and buy like 10,000 yen or 100,000 yen or something, and at a low amount, maybe $600, something like that, and then come back in the future when the Japanese yen is strong again, then you'll be able to buy a lot more with that money and it'll be more valuable. So I kind of saw just how much money a US dollar could really buy in Japan, and it's a lot. It goes a long way. So I did that at first, but really the best thing to do when you're there, because you're going to be buying a lot of things, you're going to be going in and out of the buses and the subways, and buying. There's lots of vending machines, and so if you don't speak Japanese and you don't want to be dealing with people all the time, and you want everything to be kind of electronic and robotic almost, and just like you get what you need without dealing with anyone, the best is to get a so-called IC card. I can't remember what it stands for. International Communication Card, something like that. Transport card. There's a term for it. I'm not going to look it up. So they have two main ones. One is called the Suica, but it sounds like in Spanish like sucia, which means dirty. So I didn't want that one, but I got this one called the Passmo. There it is, the Passmo. Passmo. You can get this from a machine as well, or when you get to like the airport, they have areas for them. So you can get this sort of IC card, and that card can be the card you use the entire time you're in Japan, which is pretty cool. So when I went, I used this card for everything, but you can't really like track your balance on this. So what I did was I put this card onto my phone. So you can do that. You can enter it into your Apple Wallet, and there it goes. I have Passmo on my Apple Wallet. So you don't even need this card. And for the most part, you don't even have to have it, like if you're at the subway or something, you don't even have to have it open to the wallet app. You just click and it lets you onto the subway. It's so cool. So you could kind of see what I was doing every day. A lot of subways, a lot of every different station I went to, and it was kind of cheap. So like I was going from Ginza Station to Roppongi Station, or I was going to Yukucharo to Okamachipu. That's 167 yens. So I don't know what that is, like 80 cents or something like that. And I was always kind of checking on things like that. It's like, oh, what is that? So you could just go to like Google and say 167 yen to USD. Let's see. So I was doing this a lot and just saying, oh, so it was like $1, right? That's pretty cool. At least it was that day. So from getting from one side of town to the other was $1. I mean, I'm not even, it was like a really good deal. And so I was using the subway a lot when I was in Japan. The first thing I did, first of all, you take I took the Narita Express, which is like this really, like this bullet train. And I got from Narita Airport, which is far away, all the way to Tokyo, the main area, which is a main hub if you're visiting Japan for the first time. So I went from there, and that one you do have to pay for with like a credit card, and I don't know, it was like $20 or something. But once you got that, from there on in Tokyo for the subway and everything, you can just use Passmo. So I did that. I also got a lot of food with this. So this Passmo card, this IC card, which is basically like a transportation card, it works at all kinds of places. So it works at 7-Eleven, and 7-Elevens there are much bigger and much more fascinating than the ones here. They're huge, and they have all kinds of food and like fried chicken and like, I don't know, sushi and just like anything you could want, really. So a lot of the time, a lot of these were from me eating at various 7-Elevens. And it doesn't kind of say that here. Like this one, I know this one was McDonald's. I remember that one. And so it kind of shows a picture of where I took it. It doesn't say the word McDonald's. But I ate this huge meal for 930 yens. And let me see what that was on the Google. 930 yen to USD, $6. Wow. So yeah, that's just kind of how I got around. And I didn't have to like take out cash each time. or ring up too many things on my credit card. It was just easy. I just had this. I could swipe it and then not have to deal with anyone, and then my food would just be there. And it also worked on vending machines. Vending machines are very big in Japan, and I'm sure you've probably seen. There's YouTube videos and channels and stuff where people can kind of buy anything from a vending machine. If you want beer, if you want champagne, probably, if you want an iPhone. I mean, it's like anything. Teddy bears, just like all kinds of stuff. So lasagna. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like crazy stuff that's like you would think is weird. I bought soup out of one. I was really hungry and I couldn't find food anywhere, so I just bought soup. And it came in a can and it was hot and everything. It was weird. I'd never ordered a hot thing from a vending machine before. So it's a little unnerving the first time. And I put it on the Passmo. I just zapped it and there it was. Now, I was hoping that there would be a play, as a credit card person, where I could put money on the Passmo with a credit card and then get a refund. That actually can kind of work. However, that refund I don't think it can come from the phone version. It can come from this, and you have to go to like a certain place, maybe at some airports or something, to get it. No, at banks. But they do charge you a 2% fee to get a refund. So most of these credit cards that we do will probably give like 2% cash back. So it would be a wash. It wouldn't be worth it unless you were trying to meet a minimum spend on a credit card. So if you are trying to meet a minimum spend on a credit card, you go to Japan, and let's just say you want to put $1,000 on this, and then you're ready to leave and you haven't spent it all, then you can go to a bank in Japan and ask for a refund, but you will be charged a 2% fee for what the refund is. So you'll lose, $20 or something like that. But the hope is that by putting that credit card money on here, you were able to somehow earn your minimum spend. Now, I think that only works on the Suica card, actually. This one has to be paid in cash no matter what. However, it can be refilled on the phone version of the app. I know I'm all over the place with this. If you want to do it, just be careful how you do it. I think the Suica one would be the better one to do, because there are kiosks at the airport or whatever where you can load your Suica card with a credit card and then try to get the money back later. Now, that doesn't work if you get the so-called welcome Suica card. That one is kind of a temporary card, whereas the actual Suica one has your name on it. If you get the welcome card, if you get the standard Suica card, you also have to pay a deposit, like a 500 yen deposit that stays on the card. But with the welcome card, you don't. So it's kind of like all over the place. Definitely do your homework and research to see what's the best one for you. For me, I didn't have any minimum spends to reach, and I knew I was probably just going to spend it down, and I kind of did. So I currently have 270 yens left on the card. What is that? $1.50 or something like that. So, yeah, not a big deal. Maybe I'll use it again if I go back to Japan. It's not transferable. I wanted to. I was there at the airport at the last minute, just like buying weird little things like gummy bears and this kind of water called Picardi Sweat, which is like weird water. And just like buying stuff just like to run down the balance. And then finally I had to catch my flight, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just leave $1 on here. But anyway, it was kind of funny. So that's kind of the arsenal that I had with me for Japan. Like I said, I didn't really have much luggage. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a visa, and I just didn't really have anything. But I figured I'd be able to figure it out, and I kind of did. So I got some cash, just like in case there was some place. Well, I knew I was going to probably play in the pachinko parlor, so I'd need cash for that. So I got, a couple of yens, and I also loaded up the Passmo, and then I was ready to go. I felt comfortable to go out into Japan itself. So I went out into Japan, used the different subways and whatnot. I don't speak any Japanese, and I have to tell you, a lot of people in Japan don't speak any English. So I read that it's like the 92nd, it's ranked 92nd in English fluency. Yeah, a lot of people there don't speak Japanese. So it could be kind of tricky. Like I would just be asking regular things at the subway, like, where's the exit? Just like, and they would just look at me completely blank, like the staff. They would take out like an iPad, and they would ask me to repeat what I said, and it would like tell them and translate it. And then they would type in what they wanted to say, and then they would show me what it said in English. It was like, I don't know, talking to Stephen Hawking or something. It was weird. Um, so a lot of people won't speak any English. So I was very grateful for robots and ATM machines and vending machines and any machine that I could use where I wouldn't have to deal with someone, because they just don't speak it. Also, I had heard that they weren't. Okay, I will tell you, the people there were very nice, and if I was like really in need of help, people would always help me. But people there weren't really, didn't super worship the Americans the way I thought they would. So, like I would like try to make eye contact and like, say hi. Like people don't do that there. They're more reserved and conservative. If I looked at someone, they just like look away, and like it was weird. I'd sit down on a subway, and people like wouldn't sit next to me. It's just like, yeah, it was just kind of weird there. And that's fine. I don't have to. I'm not entitled that everyone has to love Americans or whatever. When I needed help, like I said, everyone was very nice and very helpful. If we could break the language barrier, or if I was in a really nice hotel where they were required to speak English, then it would work. But yeah, overall, you're kind of on your own. So I recommend that you try to learn some Japanese, or at least be good at miming, or have a picture of what you want and point at it. Use your phone as much as you can. Try to get some kind of software that'll translate things like that. Or just be very intuitive and try to figure out what people are saying. So, yeah, culturally, it was very different, and it was difficult to deal with. It wasn't easy. Like, I travel all over the place. Paris, that's easy. When I go to Germany, it's easy. People speak English everywhere, and they kind of like Americans. Or, I mean, I know they don't like anyone in Paris, but it just kind of feels more like home. But in Japan, it's just like a different world, like I said. So don't expect it to be super easy as a foreigner, or a gaijin, as they sometimes call them. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I got lost a little bit sometimes, like in Lost in Translation. It's like, where am I? What's going on? I'm all alone. It's weird. No one likes me. Not really, but you could kind of feel a little sense of isolation. I've seen some other YouTubes of people who go to Japan, and they're like, at first it seems like really exciting and all the lights and everything, but it's just so different that you might feel that homesickness and feel a little isolation if you're not from there, or in part of the culture or something like that. But it was still beautiful. It was very safe. Nothing happened. I mean, I was running around at all hours. Um, I didn't run into the yakuzas or whatever. It just it's a safe country to go to. Um, just be logical about your choices that you make. But yeah, it was weird. So I went to different hotels. I went to the Grand Hyatt. That was very nice. It was a Category 7, um, and so I had earned that by reaching Globalist on my World of Hyatt credit card. Uh, some of the bigger, more exciting ones, like the Hyatt Andaz or the Park Hyatt, are currently not available. Uh, the Andaz is not accepting Hyatt points, and the Park Hyatt is closed till sometime in 2025, maybe 2026. I'm not sure. So I went to the Grand Hyatt, and it was very, very nice. I highly recommend it. If you're a globalist, which why aren't you? Why wouldn't you be? Then you can get access to the club floor, which is that gives you all the food you could possibly need. So you don't need to run around to those vending machines. Just eat there. There's food all day. It's huge breakfast, afternoon tea, and then the hors d'oeuvres part of the evening on the club is all free. Obviously, all of it's free, and then it's just so much food. And if you're big on drinking, there's just endless amounts of wine and champagne and beer. They even have non-alcoholic beer and non-alcoholic champagne. I was so impressed. So I ate very well there, and I just, was very, very happy about it. The time change was difficult. The jet lag was really hard. I'd never gone. I've maybe once before going in that direction. Usually I go in the other direction. So, it would be like noon and I would be super tired because that noon was like, I don't know, 1 a.m. here in Texas, something like that. So I would say I said, well, I'm going to take a nap. God, that was a big mistake. So if you're going to take a nap over there and you're from the US, please, please, please turn on your alarm. I took a nap and then I'd wake up at 7 p.m. Okay. And my whole day was just gone. I was like, what happened? And it's dark. It gets dark real early there. It gets dark at 4 p.m. Here it gets dark at like 5:30 now. But it was, so you're like, wow, where am I? What's happening? Why is it dark? I just took a nap, It was noon a few hours ago and now it's pitch black. What happened? So definitely put your alarm on for like an hour or two and then wake up and you're like, okay, I had my nap. Now it's time to get going. But it's kind of hard. Also, nothing opens there until like 11 or 12, and I mean nothing. I mean, you could be wandering the streets all ready for a live stream of Shinjuku or whatever, and nothing's open, nothing's happening at all. I thought these people worked all day, and they were like, yeah, I mean, they do. They work in their little offices, but the shops and all that stuff, none of it's open. So that kind of was jarring to me. I was up, I was awake, I was ready to do stuff, and the whole city was not open. And then I'd take a nap and wake up, and then the city, dinner time was already over. So like you have to get on their time. And then I would try to go to bed at night, 11 p.m. or 12, but that was like 10 a.m. or like 3 p.m. in Texas or something like that. So I would sleep, just like go in and out of consciousness for like 3 hours and then just be like, fine, whatever, I'm awake. It kind of messed me up. It was hard. You've really got to acclimate yourself to it. I recommend slowly doing an hour, for maybe like the week before, like slowly like pushing yourself to that time zone, because it's gonna hit you hard, and it'll be tough. It was tough. I'd be up, I'd have a coffee and kind of walk around the streets, but I felt weird, like I was supposed to be in bed, like my eyes were bloodshot, and um, I just wasn't really happy. I wasn't feeling it. But anyway, so that hotel was really nice. The second hotel I went to was super, super crazy. I went to a capsule hotel. And if you've heard of those, they're like these teeny tiny, they're like a little coffin. Uh, so, yeah, they were odd. So if you're staying in a capsule hotel, they have a lounge, and then they have Japan is big on like, um, they call them onsens or spas. So there'll usually be a communal bathing area, um, and with like hot tubs and pools and stuff and showers, all very communal. There's a lot of nudity, and it's a little jarring. It's like the whole country is a big bathhouse with like rooms. I don't know. So it was a little weird. I don't uh, like not having my clothes on in public, or even in private. And also, like the whole shoe thing, they are really adamant about that, which, as a foreigner, I mean, I know it's kind of moving to that in big cities in the US, but I cannot get over it. I mean, I'm wearing my shoes now in my own house. I don't want I'm not going to be eating off the floor or anything. I don't see what the problem is. I'll just mop it up later if I bring in dirt. But I don't, want to be walking around on these hard floors all day and just getting my socks dirty. I don't know. But in Japan, they're big on taking your shoes off at all these places, and I think it's gross. But I respected their decisions, and just bring lots of socks over there, because your socks are going to get filthy from just walking around on floors that a whole bunch of other people are walking around on, especially in a capsule hotel. So I was in this little capsule hotel, and it cost nothing. It's like $20, which is a very good deal, because Japan is one of the most expensive cities in the. Tokyo is one of the most expensive cities in the world. So if you can find a little capsule, do it, especially if you're a traveler, because you're going to be out all day. You're going to be seeing this city. I was having ramen. I was, well, I think yeah, that's what I did. I went shopping. I went to the pachinko parlor. I went to a maid cafe. I did all these things. I was running around. I had the Passmo. Uh, and, I didn't want to just sit in the room all day. So I did all of that. And then at the end of the day, I take the shower and then just sleep in that little coffin thing. How much space do I need to sleep? Um, and so that's what I did. And it was fine, but it was weird. I made a video of it on YouTube. You've watched it. It's just kind of like, uh, I can't really get into the whole communal thing. And they even make you wear this like standard issue outfit that you have to wear in there. And there's a sign that says it's so you don't bring bugs in. So, I mean, I kind of get it. These capsule hotels, a lot of people stay in them, and some people like may be homeless or something, or um, they may have nowhere else to go, or and there are videos on that too, like on YouTube. You can see like where some like homeless people are just like staying in manga cafes or other internet cafes, or even capsule hotels. Because if you've got a room, then you can sleep in it, even if it's a very small space. But they'll make you wear like a little outfit, so you don't bring the outside in there with you. Um, so there were no bed bugs, obviously. So I get that it's kind of cleaner that way. But you wear that, and then you sleep, and then you take it off, and you bathe in that horrible area, in the bathhouse, and then you put your clothes back on, and you check out, and then you leave. So it was weird. It felt kind of like cattle being moved, but it was super cheap. So you save money that way by doing that. Obviously, I was there for like 10 days. I can't be having Hyatt free nights every day. with category 7, anything like that. So it was a kind of a, you know, something that you do to fill the space and when you're doing a lot of traveling. I also stayed at the very grand Hyatt, the Tokyo Station Hotel. That place was really quite something. But I think it was a little too stuffy and uppity for me. It gave like no bonuses or benefits or perks or anything. It's a far cry from my Vegas places where, I walk into Vegas and everyone knows me and they throw free drinks at me and they put me in the penthouse. Now, that's what I like. But in Japan, it wasn't like that at all, anywhere. They give you what you pay for. Can you believe that? And there are no upgrades or bonuses or anything. It felt very odd to me. No one gave me a free drink. Like, I was like, where's my free drink? I mean, they did at the Hyatt, but that was only because of the Globalist. But didn't have any status or anything with the Tokyo Station Hotel, which isn't really a chain or anything. So you go in there and they give you your key, and that's all they give you. So, oh, and they give you the opportunity to use the pool, which is exclusive to them, but you have to pay 4,000 yen to use it. And that's like, what? I'm not gonna pay $50 to go to the pool at the hotel where I'm staying. Anyway, so like I said, it was a little stuffy and not really my cup of tea. It was beautiful and everything. I'll give them that, but come on, I need perks, I need benefits, and I need free things. That's who I am, on the inside. So it took me as a little bit of a shock. I stayed in an Airbnb. It was kind of far away. It was in a place called Hakone, and it was absolutely stunning. The ride over there. I took a bus, and it was beautiful, beautiful. I highly recommend it, but don't take the bus. Take a train or something. But I took the bus, and I saw the beautiful countryside, and you get closer. I mean, you get kind of close to Mount Fuji, which is tremendous. Now, I've seen big mountains before, but never anything like this. This thing was a megalithic monstrosity, colossal beast. You can only see like parts of it over there were clouds, but you could see the top. And I mean, it just went on and on. It was Olympian, and it was just huge. So it wasn't like a picture where you see it out in the distance with its little white cap and then pretty trees around it. It was just this monster. I can't even believe the whole place, the countryside, is more mountainous than you would think. There's mountains everywhere. It was like you're in the Great Pyrenees. I don't know. It was a little shocking. I didn't expect that from Japan. I mean, I knew it wasn't flat terrain, but so many mountains. It was really quite something. So I love staying at the Airbnb, and I would highly recommend that you do that. They have a lot of those. Right now, there's kind of a housing crisis there. Well, there's a lot of crises. There's like an age population. Their population is aging. There's a lot of elderly people there, and not enough young people to take care of them all. And so they have an aging population. And they also have a bit of a housing crisis. So you'll probably see some YouTubes like, oh, I bought this house in Japan for $3,000. Yeah, there are caveats that go with that. First of all, there's a lot of houses like that are kind of empty, but you have to fix them up too. I think the government makes you fix them up. So you don't just get the house, you have to put some money into it at the same time. But, and they're usually kind of far away from Tokyo or something, and far away from the banks and business or jobs or anything like that. But it is possible. And so this one that I went to, it kind of felt like that. I think that that's what it was. Maybe an American bought it or something, because it seemed very technologically Americanized and everything. it was unstaffed Airbnb. So you walk in and you like show a QR code with your reservation to like this computer, and it knows you're there, and it gives you your key, and that's it. There's no staff. There's no one to talk to. I kind of liked that. And so I just went to my little room and I had full use of the kitchen. The kitchen was huge, industrial kitchen. I made all this food. I made several YouTube videos. You can watch them of me like cooking like grilled cheese sandwiches in their kitchen. It was kind of surreal. But that was my room, and I had this view of the mountains, and I had this river running through, and it was real nice. Then I took the bus back to Tokyo, and when I took that bus back, it was a horrible disaster. Do you know it took 7 hours to get from Hakone to Tokyo? Now, that's like the same distance from San Antonio to Austin. It should be like an hour and a half, maybe two. So that's why I wouldn't recommend buses. Okay, yes, I was coming back on a Sunday, and I get that a lot of people probably spent their weekend out in the country and then came back in, and I came at like the worst possible time. But I did not expect there to be that much traffic. I mean, it barely moved. You could see it just like barely moving, like 5 miles an hour for hundreds of miles. It was brutal. Yeah, they had a bathroom in the bus, and you could see some people just pulling over and just peeing on the side of those streets. It was just and I thought, what, are there accidents? Did something happen? There's no accident. This is just what the traffic is like. And of course, it's the most populated city in the world. It was like 70 million people, 40 million people, something like that, something really high. Living in Tokyo, of course it's going to be bad. So if you're going to go out to the country, please just take the train. Take one of the trains. They have trains. They have bullet trains. They have ferries to, like mini cruise ships, really. But I would not recommend going on a bus like I did, because you're probably going to get stuck in traffic, and it's going to be brutal. So don't go on the highway. So that was something I learned over there. But overall, I had a fantastic experience. I met, interesting people, shared stories with people. I took some great YouTube videos. I still have to upload all of them. They're slowly trickling out. I played in their pachinko parlor. I really wanted to try that. I like gaming with finances, credit cards and all that. So I wanted to try that. That was interesting. So gambling is illegal in Japan, but the whole pachinko thing has a loophole, and so you'll see pachinko parlors and even slot parlors everywhere. And of course I had to try them, but they're very different from the ones in Vegas. They're technically, the way they can kind of make this loophole work is that they're not a game of, they brand them as not games of chance, but games of skill. And so, but really, they're just masquerading as games of skill. They're really games of chance, because everything moves so fast that there's no way you could really have that skill. I mean, I guess you could, but so like pachinko is kind of like a pinball machine, but it goes real fast, and you have to try to pick the right place to put the pinball in, and it moves in a way that's almost like it's a game of chance. And also their slot machines are different too. So they'll have the reels turning, but you have to press the button to stop the reels. And if you get it just right, you can get all the lines correctly and win the jackpot. But they move so fast that you can't, I mean, you would have to be like, have superpowers to be able to use that skill to stop the reels just where you want them. So really, they're just masquerading. They're games of chance. And also, when you cash out, if you won, you get like a coin. They call them, they don't call them, they call them medals. not tokens. And you're supposed to exchange these for like a toy or like a teddy bear or something. That makes it like an arcade place. But there's always a little like booth across the street or around the corner where they will give you cash. They'll give you yens in exchange for those medals. In that sense, the two places are technically not connected with each other. One is a pachinko parlor and the other is a mini bank kiosk, and therefore it's not a casino. The two places are separate, and one is an arcade, one is a kiosk, and that gets around, that creates a loophole and gets around the whole no gambling allowed thing. In that sense, you're not gambling, you're just playing at an arcade and winning a toy, if that's what they want to tell themselves. So I learned how they use that loophole, and people are in there all the time. I mean, and these poor people, they do work really hard in Japan. I know because I was at that hotel I was at, the Grand Hyatt. My window was across from, I could see like an office building. I was like, what are those people in there? And, it was like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and they're in there working. It's like, these people work really hard. So they want to blow off steam. So when the day is over, you'll find them at the bars, at the ramen places, at pachinko parlors, at karaoke places. These people have fun. They're out all night. And then they go home to these tiny little homes or capsule hotels, and it's really quite something. It seems to me it's a very different reality from what I'm used to, and it seems like a very a real grind, a real grind. No, I really like the Hyatt. I took some soaps. Look at this soap. This is soap. Oh yes, Balmain. Look at that. It's all Japanese. Oh. So yeah, this was kind of the only souvenirs I got. So I gave these to like coworkers and my mom and stuff. I was like, look, I brought you something from Japan. Oh, this was nice. This is from the Tokyo the Tokyo Station Hotel. This one too. Les Histoires de Parfum. It's all very French, very nice. They give you razors, they give you toothbrushes. I had a whole bunch of those. I'm all ready to go. Look at this. Look at this toothpaste. It's the tiniest toothpaste you've ever seen. So yeah, so that's the stuff I came back with. These are my only memories now of old Japan. But man, I had the best time. I learned a lot. I met new people. I ate interesting things. I enjoyed different hotels and vending machines and different foods and they're really big on non-alcoholic beer there. If you're like me and you drink non-alcoholic beer, they have so many selections. I would just get one and then I said, oh, I want that one and that one. They have Bud Zero and Heineken Zero and then they had Asahi and the different Japanese beers, and so it was really kind of cool. So I just stock up on all of them at the vending machine and take them to my capsule and just drink all night while I was crying myself to sleep because I just saw an 80-year-old man walking around naked right in front of me. So it's a different world, but it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I was stunned by the natural beauty, and everyone was very, very sweet. If perhaps they weren't treating me like a celebrity, but that was okay. At least they were kind, and nothing happened. I didn't get robbed. I didn't get sick. I didn't. It was a very safe and very, very amazing trip, and I got all these little treats and stuff, so I can continue to remember the wonders of Japan. So it's been an hour, and I hope I have given you an idea of what it's like to visit a truly remarkable country. If you're interested in going and you have questions, feel free to message me. You can put this in the comments on this seminar video later if you'd like, or message me in the Telegram for the DuckDeals, or just yeah. So I'm happy to help, and I think you should definitely do it. Get those miles, that you want. Burn the not burn, but accrue the miles on your American Airlines card. You can just do that with spending, buying gift cards for the Duck, of course. And for your hotel, I recommend Hyatt. They're the best. So buy gift cards for the Duck as well, and then you'll have your free trip there. And when you get there, just put a little money on the Passmo, and you can easily go all around town, get yourself some snacks, and have an amazing trip the way I did. So thank you so much for joining me. In a few weeks, I'll see you again on another Monday, unless it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, we'll talk more. Let me know if you have any ideas for any other interesting things you'd like to talk about. We'll be in Chicago at the beginning. Is it next week? 2 weeks from now. Oh, so maybe I think our next seminar will be from Chicago. So I'll be in Chicago at the beginning of December, and I will be posting more videos there. There's lots of great gambling there. It's going to be good times ahead. So looking forward to all of it. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. Have a good night. Sayonara.